Well, hello there, folks. Welcome back to my channel. Hope all you are still truly well and blessed by our Lord and Savior. And as you can see, lovely blue sky day here in South Africa. No, man, I'm lying. It's raining. It just rained a couple of minutes ago still. It's still nice and cloudy. It's not cool, but it's beautiful weather. So yeah, just want to give you a look. Okay. Enough talking. What are we doing? Well, it's maybe not the most exciting thing to do, but if you ever want to build yourself a turbo booster, the step-by-step guide will definitely help you. So today we continue on that motor. I don't know if we're going to get it finished, but we'll get, if we're not finished, we'll be damn close or pretty close or just close. I don't know. So yeah, enough of me talking. Let's get back to building that engine. Okay, again, you all know the drill. Before we get started with the video, we give a shout out to all the sponsors of the channel. All these guys that are members, they like sponsoring me and making it possible for me to make these lovely videos for all you guys. There's no new guys this week, or girls, anyone out there want to be a member, you can come and join. But yeah, there was one problem in last week's video. I don't know if you or anybody saw it, but poor Marius, I changed the I and the U was turned around. So yeah, I quickly fixed that. But yeah, thanks to all of you guys. You guys who support the channel helps me a lot. Help me make better videos for you guys and girls and all you folks out there to watch. And yeah, thank you guys a hell of a lot. Let's get to the video. Okay, folks, so we are back on this engine, back on this turbo build. And if you check, there's a motor. There's also a motor, even if it doesn't look like it. So busy with 3 motors at one time. But yeah, not gonna make videos on everything. That one over there is the budget build turbo one. So yeah, there's video on that. So yeah, what's next? What are we doing next? Quickly, we're gonna remove the sump. And then we're gonna install that sump. All right, why am I doing that? Let me quickly tell you. Because maybe you think I'm gonna be jumping around. I am gonna be jumping around a bit, but there's method to the madness. So let me just hold on to that, and I can explain to you. We need to weld the return line for the oil on the sump. And because this sump is this engine sump, we're going to be using this original one. So, but we still need to continue on with the motor, put the piston, space plate, sleeves, all that groceries back on. We can't do it with the sump off, so yeah, we put the temporary one on. It's just gonna hold it close so we can continue on with the upwards. So yeah, let me quickly tighten this and we'll talk some more. Yeah, so now that we got the sump off and the other sump on, we can continue with the space plate. We can put the pistons back in, put the sleeves on, all that groceries, but not the head. So what happened to the head? I didn't even tell you in the previous video. There's the head. I told you it was leaking a bit of oil and stuff. So if you check there, it was also blowing through 2 cylinders. And not a train smash. We did get another head. We only need to shim it. So yeah, what we're quickly gonna do, I'm busy making the return bungs or for the oil pan. I'm not going to show you, I'll show you the end results, but that's how they look, and I'll show you when it's welded on. For now, we're going to start with cleaning. There's the base plate. Show you how they look. So this is a standard base gasket, paper thin, and we are moving to one that is much thicker, but as you can see, it's still got the plastic on, so we need to clean it, scuff it, and then we'll copper tack it. Why copper tack? You see, copper gasket sealer. Once we paint it with this, and we paint all the gaskets with this, you don't need to put silicone on. As you've seen in the previous videos with the pickups with all the silicone in, we don't really want silicone in the motor, so we paint it with this thin layer. You can put it on, it works like the same as gasket maker, except there's no excess, it's just a little bit. So yeah, we'll be cleaning one of those and installing it and putting the pistons on, but I'll quickly show you once that one is prepped. We'll be painting it and going on from there. Okay, so let's get going with that. I just quickly wanted to show you what the return lines look like, or the return bung. So it starts life like this. This is just stock I've got, otherwise I'll use solid stock, but now it's 20mm with a 8mm hole. Doesn't need to be that big, so I put them like this, two together, machine them off, then they look like this. Now you'd say, yeah, but that's two and this is one. No, this isn't one. You can see it's two. So we'll weld it on, and then we'll put the hole through to the sump. Just give them a clean. But yeah, two sumps. Yeah, we're gonna weld two returns. So yeah, I'll show you when that's done, and then we can reinstall it back on the bike. Yeah, so this next step you really don't need to do. What I do is, you see it's nice and clean. I polish just the head and not polish, just clean it up a bit more. As you can see, that one is clean. These two I didn't have that long in the ultrasonic, but they are clean enough so I can polish them like this. So you don't need to do it. I only do it because OCD or something. So I'll quickly do all the other three. I'll show you, and then we'll reinstall them. Okay, all 4 pistons nice and clean. So next step is I'm quickly going to gap the rings. Unfortunately, I'm not going to show you that, because that's one of those little trade secrets everyone keeps to themselves. What I can tell you is, if you gap them too small, you can break a ring gland off or melt the piston, because the gap is too tight, so it creates heat between the 2 points and melts the piston. And if you gap them too loose, meaning the gap there is too big, you will have more blow-by, so it'll breathe probably. So yeah, if you are not sure, rather gap it bigger. You can rather have blow-by, and you can install a breather on that to return it. Then gap it too little and melts a piston or breaks a ring gland off. So I'll quickly do that, and then the next step after that will be reinstalling these pistons. Okay, so folks, pistons are back in. What do you need to know? Alright, a couple of things. The little dots on the pistons show to the exhaust side. Make sure, sounds stupid, I've seen people put them in, they can go in the wrong way around. Yeah, not good. So that's important. Number 2, lube. Always use some lube. Another thing, these little split pins that holds the gudgeon pin in. Sure. It's gonna sound stupid, but be very careful when putting them back in. If you haven't had to strip a motor down at the bottom searching for where that little split pin went into the motor, you are one of the lucky ones. But believe me, be very, 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 very careful when reinstalling them. And then another thing is, once you've installed them, make sure, take a little flat point or some prying tool and make sure they are fully clicked in, not halfway, because they will come out. That's very important. That's pretty much about it. Now we can, clocking of the rings. The people will always say, you should put the gap 180, so the top ring is 180 on that side, and this one is on this side, and then the bottom ring should do differently. The way I do it, I don't know, you decide for yourself. So the top ring, I put the gap on the inlet side. On all 4 of them, you can check. So number 2 ring shows to the exhaust side. The only reason I do that is the top ring sees the most heat because of the compression and the explosion and everything. So if it's on the inlet side, it cools down first when fuel comes in. I'm not guaranteeing that's what happens, but that's the way I do it. So that's why my second ring shows to the exhaust side. You can probably gap them side to side, but I'm just telling you the way I'm doing it. So yeah, the next step is put the space plate on, and I don't know if you can see it. It's hanging over here. It's already been copper teched and it should be dry. So another thing, I'm not giving you the thickness on this. The only reason for that is it varies on what turbo setup you're running, how much you want to drop the compression. So the same as the ring gaps, I don't give you the ring gaps because maybe you go and do it and you blow up your motor and then you say, yeah, but I use the ring gaps in as supplied or in as it's supposed to work. So the same with this, everyone's choice on what you want to use. So I'm not going to show you how I struggled to put the sleeves back on, because when I did that motor, I was on a video call with one of my friends and I struggled. If you want to see me struggle with a set of barrels and you want to laugh at me, go check the B-Kings video where I built the B-King. I think I was struggling 10 minutes to get the 4 pistons back in. So yeah, I'm quickly going to put this base gasket on and then we'll reinstall the barrels. So yeah, nothing to check, just make sure your timing chain is out of the way, not over the side. Make sure you clean the side, no oil, grease and stuff on it. And then again, make sure your rings are well lubricated, because yeah, to go into the barrels is a bit of a challenge. So I'll quickly do that and I'll show you when I'm done. Yeah, and as easy as that, all 4 pistons are in. And then we're not going to put the head on right now because we still need to shim it, but we will be doing other things that needs to be done. But yeah, this is one of the advantages of the copper compound. As you can see, I did put the 2 number 10s on, but I didn't tighten them fully. You see there's still a gap. There's nothing tying on this side, but the copper tack is dry. It doesn't need to be wet. The only thing we don't need, or we shouldn't get any solvent in there or anything, but as soon as we put the head back together, it will be fine. So yeah, it's not like silicone where you need to tighten it before it dries. You can leave this for a week, and well, not a week, but yeah, I'm gonna stop it here and then I'm gonna go to work, and when I come back I will come finish the rest. So this is gonna be standing for the whole day now, and yeah, just to give you guys an idea. Okay, so yeah, see you this afternoon. Okay, I'm back. It's almost evening again, but yeah, we'll quickly continue with this lacquer build. I used a bit of 800 sandpaper and a Scotch-Brite just to clean off the surface. You don't need to take all of that black off. It's just here on the ceiling surfaces. You need to make sure that there is nothing there. And okay, I still need to use a clean rag and some breaking parts and just rub it off. But yeah, as you can see, the surface is clean or cleaned. Then the old head, we're not going to install that. The new head, I'll quickly show you. Just get my cutter. See, it's glad wrapped. Just zoom out a bit. Just get it open. So, total refurbished head. Valves done. Well, everything done. Schemed. All that lacquer goodies. Because that one was blown there, I did use a straight edge to check the barrels. The barrels didn't, nothing happened to the barrels. So it was only there. The head is a bit warped there, but there's so many problems with this head. The guy decided it's better to get a new one. So yeah, I sourced him a new one, or not a new one, but newly refurbished one, something like that. So if I can get it open, I can show you. Here you can check, head is schemed, valves have been lapped in and all that ground in and stuff. And as far as I know, we're not putting that vernier cams of his back in, so this one is already shimmed, but I'll just make sure 100%. But yeah, we'll quickly, as you can see, move all the parts like the rubbers and everything over to this head, and then we'll install this head on this motor. And where's the top gasket? It's just the old one. Was there somewhere? Let me just make sure about this. I think this is the old top gasket. We will be cutting it and throwing it away. Yeah, so, oh my soul. There you can see where it blew. So, yeah, I cut this top gasket. I use them as templates and stuff. But to make sure I don't accidentally use this one, I cut it right here. So then I cut a piece out. Then I know that one is unusable. But yeah, already got the new one on. Already, you can see Copper Tack painted it. So yeah, I'll quickly clean the barrels on the top. Just see where my breaking parts are. Install the dowels. One thing you shouldn't forget before you put the head on, otherwise you're gonna have to take it off again. This little one, this guide goes in this side. I think I can put it on before I forget it. So it goes into the bottom. Nothing is interrupting it. Oh, yeah, no. It should just go right in there. And yeah, so don't forget this one. That one can move. So yeah, when we put the head on, otherwise you're gonna have to take the head off again. Just listen. Don't know if you can hear that, but it's raining here by us. So yeah, I'll quickly clean this. I'll show you the top gasket on and that's installed correctly. And yeah, then we'll put that new head on. Alright, so let me get to it. Yeah, so for me to make sure you guys don't miss any of the action, we're back on the neck mounted camera. So yeah, there you can check the new top gaskets in place, lying, already doweled in and everything. That guide is in, chain is just over it, and the head is ready. Oh no. Okay, I need to remove this. Yeah. Okay, so let's first get the Allen key. key. Where's the Allen key? Okay. Ah, there it is. Okay. Numero 8. It's just easier if this bolt is removed. Otherwise, we struggle with the chain. It's got a seal at the back. Yeah, alright. So, as you can see there, it's nice and clean. I'm not going to touch it. The only stripes you see is that glad wrap. Won't do anything. So yeah, let's get this bad boy on. Okay, so remember your guides. Go over them. Then just look for your dowels. And what am I missing? Just check here at the bottom. Cool beans. And there you can see the head's on. So now, what did I do with the head bolts? Let's just get this one in place. Then we know that is sorted. Come here. So yeah, this, you put this back in. Chain can't fall down because it will be just lying on top of it. And yeah, then other tensioner is in. Not gonna tighten it too much. Good stuff. All right, let me just see. Oh, okay. So there are the old head bolts. I'm quickly gonna get them out, give them a good clean. You see they did put anti-seize on them. I'll just clean them quickly and we'll reinstall them and torque down the head. And yeah, we'll go from there. See what's next on the list to do. Okay, but yeah, let me get these things in and I'll show you from there on. Okay again, yeah, okay every time. Okay, all the head bolts are installed. I also just put these ones in. You can just make them take like the first thread or something. And those ones aren't tight, and then there's one down here. So I torque them afterwards. They don't have a massive torque setting. It's really not a lot. It's like, I can't remember, 6 mil bolts. Aha, you see, I've got a manual. M6, 6 newtons, final 11 newtons. So for the head bolts, it's 28 newtons initial and 50 newtons final. And then, okay, this is now for the casings, but the way you torque it is you start, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I've got my digital torque wrench here. Oh, this is just a digital part you put in. And then with the extensions, you don't really want too long of extension. And you see I don't have that 28 newtons, I've got 30 on it. So yeah, then you, oh no. Yeah, sorry, wrong fitting. Do that. This. Where's the dugga? I forgot again. So you need a tube socket to get in here. So yeah, as you can see, I don't know if you can see there. So they're all still pretty loose. I will just tighten them up a bit. Okay. That one's fine. Now we can go back to that one. Good. And then you just continue as I showed you previously. This is just the initial, so you don't have to be as accurate on this one. It's good to be accurate, but it's just the initial, so it's the first torque setting. Before you do the final. And what I like to do is, I'll give you the insight on that. I like to torque the head to the final and let it rest for a day. So everything can set into place. The top gasket can be squished to where it needs to be. And then I just check it again. So yeah, that's just one thing I do. I'm not sure if I'm going to show you that, because otherwise I'm going to have to wait another day to show you what I'm doing right now. But there's normally like a 5-6 newtons difference if you do it the next day or 24 hours later, because everything's set it into place. Become friends with each other, and yeah. So I'm still gonna have to check the torque settings on this head. So yeah, that was the initial. I didn't do 28, there's some of the 30. Then we go up from there to 50. $50 is a bit more difficult to do alone. Normally someone helps me, but I've got these stands I can hold on to if it needs to be. And yeah, because 50, it's like 5 kilograms, but it's a lot. That's one for you. I'm not going to do all of them. You saw one. I'm going to stop it there and do the other ones. So yeah, that's pretty much it, eh? The motor is almost assembled. I'll check the valve clearance, the shims. I'll check the clearance, but I'll show you that. I think that's for the next video. I think we'll stop it there. So I'll put the timing and stuff in the next video, and then yeah, we'll give it a good clean and stuff like that. I'll show you all the do's and don'ts. But yeah, I think that's going to be that for this video. Otherwise it's going to be too long for you guys and girls and everyone watching, all you folks out there. Yes. Alright, so I know this is a bit boring, but it's step by step what you need to do. Once I'm done here, I also still need to connect that hose and a couple other things. I'll show you everything, but that'll be for the next video. So if you watched all the way till now, I don't know, comment down below progress. Yeah, comment progress, then we know. Then I know you watched till the end. And there's a couple of guys that do it, and yeah, it means a lot, eh? So thank you all for watching and sharing and subscribing and liking, and all the members. It really means a lot to me that some people want to sit and watch me work on engines. It's not just me working on them, but there's people liking to see what I'm doing. I don't know, but yeah, I hope the Lord blesses each and every one of you, and that you all have a great week. And yeah, as I say, by next week we're probably going to be putting this motor back in. I don't know if there's enough to do. Well, we'll see. All right, so comment progress, and love you all a lot. May the Lord bless you. See you next week.